You've probably seen John Knoll in Star Wars documentaries, but you might not know his full story. It's a fascinating one. John Knoll's influence on the film industry extends far and wide for good reasons. The guy is a genius. I'm sure he would humbly disagree, but he is. John Knoll was born on October 6th, 1962 in Ann Arbor, Michigan. Growing up, he built models of spaceships, World War II airplanes, and even created his own vehicles. And when Star Wars came out, the special effects hit him very hard. He was only 14 years old in May of 1977, but seeing model builders with their hands in the film business got him obsessed with the art of visual effects. In 1978, John's father was scheduled to speak at a conference in Anaheim, California. His dad was a nuclear engineer at the University of Michigan. When they checked into the Anaheim hotel, John thumbed through the phone book to see if they had a number for ILM, Industrial Light and Magic, George Lucas's visual effects house. John called ILM and was actually able to talk to the head of the model shop, Grant McCune. He set up a time to take a tour of ILM. It wasn't until John Knoll was dropped off by his dad the next day that McCune realized he was talking to a kid on the other side of the line. John spent the entire day observing the ILM model team. He was able to witness how they made the effects for the original Battlestar Galactica show. John went to the University of Southern California, which happened to be the same school George Lucas went to, where he would eventually earn a Bachelor of Arts in Cinema Production. While in college, he was able to do some freelance work for Hollywood. He worked on Close Encounters of the Third Kind and Star Trek the Motion Picture, among many other projects. Quote, "As soon as you take your hobby and make it into your profession, it sort of kills it as a hobby." Close quote. So with that hobby turned profession complete, John grabbed an Apple II computer, an Oxberry animation stand, a CNC milling machine controller, and a bunch of industrial surplus stepper motors. He built a motion control system for an advanced animation class he was taking at USC. Industrial Light and Magic was so impressed by this that they actually hired John Knoll as a technical assistant for motion control photography. And once again, with that hobby turned profession complete, he turned his sight on computer graphics. He was impressed by ILM's newly created computer graphics department. At the time, John's brother, Thomas Knoll, was working on his doctoral thesis in computer vision at the University of Michigan. So, the two brothers teamed up, and out of the team of two came one of the most important and influential pieces of software ever created for visual art, Photoshop. John Knoll and his brother Thomas Knoll created Photoshop in 1987. Impressive. John Knoll is a fan's fan. He is a Star Wars fan that, through hard work and ingenuity, was able to turn a childhood dream and obsession into a lifelong passion and profession. In fact, he basically planted the idea to make a Star Wars movie about the rebel spies who appear in the opening crawl of A New Hope and steal the Death Star plans. He would often pitch that idea to his co-workers at the ILM cafeteria, and they loved it. Quote, "We have this annual trivia night where we raise money for charity, and I sat down at one of these tables with a bunch of friends of mine, and we had about a half hour before the thing was going to begin, and somebody said, 'Hey, tell me about your Star Wars idea.' So I did like a half-hour version of it." Close quote. The person he told this idea to told him to pitch it to Kathleen Kennedy, the president of Lucasfilm. So he did, and Kathleen Kennedy liked what she heard. Quote, "You hear a lot of pitches and they are pretty convoluted. When you hear something that, at its core, is a simple but big idea, that is really rare." Close quote. And with that, Rogue One became the first Star Wars anthology film. So, John Knoll, a pioneer of visual effects, a man that pursues his passions without hesitation. His resume is impressive, his position in the film industry is important, and if you're young and dreaming of getting into the industry, John Knoll is someone you should definitely look up to. You should definitely read about him. He's currently the Chief Creative Officer and Senior Visual Effects Supervisor at Industrial Light and Magic. HelloGreedo, out.
With you, what cannot be done.